Watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka. It hasn't really been a manic Monday. After a freaky Friday, we were all bracing for a manic Monday after the kind of jobs data that came out in the United States. But once again, we've managed to shrug off weak global cues to stage a very smart recovery from the day's low. So the Nifty, in fact, clawed back as much as almost 1% from the day's low. 150-point rebound on the Nifty coming in. And for the Sensex as well, a very smart clawback, almost a 500 or 550 point kind of recovery, where the Sensex in fact ended higher by about 370 points or thereabouts. In fact, if you look at the broader end of the markets, that that end of the markets was underperforming the benchmarks. The small cap index was sulking in particular. That index was down somewhere around 1% or thereabouts. The top performers today, or the sectors that drove the rebound, were the Nifty Bank index and the FMCG index. Nifty Bank, deserves mention, of course. 1.5% kind of recovery from the day's low. In fact, ending higher by almost 1%, in fact, over 1%. And FMCG index, all the biggies like HUL, ITC, Britannia, Nestle, all of them in demand. And the FMCG index, in fact, hit a fresh high in today's session. The sectors that didn't do all that well were the oil and gas basket, metals, and IT as well. These were some of the top laggards in today's session. Individual movers, what really staged or drove the recovery on the Nifty were the likes of ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank as well, and ITC, Tata Consumer, Britannia. So you can see all of these, stocks from the banking and FMCG pack leading the very smart recovery on Nifty. What didn't do all that well on the Nifty were the likes of Hindalco, NTPC, BPCL, Tata Motors, Tata Steel. In fact, even some of the technology names like Wipro featured among the losers. On the Nifty 500 index, looking at some of the gainers, Alembic Pharma, Jubilant Pharmova. So some of the pharma names were quite active today, and even some of the insurance stocks were doing well. So GICRE was one of them. PNB Housing did well, and Gujarat Fluoro, in fact, I think hit 52-week high today, if I'm not mistaken, but was quite active. On the flip side, you had Jupiter Wagons. That stock was the top Nifty 500 loser. EIL, which is in Engineers India, Home First, Motilal Oswal, Godfrey Philip, after being active most of last week, that stock was under a fair bit of profit booking today, and so was Raymond. But let's take stock of what kind of strategy one should adopt going into tomorrow's session. Let's bring on board our technical expert for today. Joining me is Nilesh Jain, who is the head AVP Derivative and Technical Research at Centrum Broking. Nilesh, great to have you on the show. Till now, I think most of the people have been suggesting a sell on rise kind of strategy, but we saw, buying emerge once again at lower levels. So 24,800, that was a critical support area for Nifty. Not only has that been, held or defended, we managed to end above that, 24,900 mark. So here on, would you suggest a buy on dips? And tomorrow's session, what kind of resistance level should one really be watching out for?
Very good afternoon to you, Nandita. So today we have witnessed a good rebound, and a good part of this rebound is that this rebound was led by banking names. So Bank Nifty in fact formed a big bullish candle, and we have witnessed a huge outperformance today from the Bank Nifty after a long time of underperformance. And there were multiple factors which have provided good support to the bulls. The volatility index in the weeks, where we have seen a sharp decline of close to 7% today, and it has reached once again near its support zone and comfort zone, I would say, which will provide more comfort to the bulls. So which is at 14 levels. Apart from that, even if you look at the Nifty structure, Nifty has taken a good support at its 21-day moving average, that is placed at 24,800. So on a closing basis, yes, we have got a good close today, and tomorrow probably we might see a follow-up move to continue towards 25,000 to 25,100. I would rather wait for a first signal of a confirmation of this particular reversal indication, which will come about 25,000. So if at all Nifty takes out 25,000 mark, we are likely to witness a short covering rally, and probably that will give us a first level of confirmation of a short-term bottom. Similarly, with the Bank Nifty as well, today it has once again reclaimed its 21 DMA, which is placed at 50,900. And we have got a good close on the Bank Nifty front as well. In the spot, it has surpassed 51,000 mark, which will now act as a major support going forward. So yes, looking at today's close, I think we should see a follow-up move in the coming session, and we expect sector-specific move to continue.
Okay, so what's the call on the PSU banking index? Because this index was a big laggard on Friday. Today as well, although private banks have done well, PSU banks, continue to be in a spot of bother. And, fundamentally, if you look at some of the brokerage notes coming in, the street is turning more and more cautious on PSU banks, and they're advising investors to stick to large cap private names. But chartically, is the structure looking very weak for some of the PSU banks and for SBI in particular, because target prices have actually been below 800 now on this stock?
Right. So Nanta, if you compare with the private sector bank, then yes, definitely we are more comfortable taking long bets in the private sector banks. But PSU banks as a whole, today was the first day of a reversal candle where the Nifty PSU banks have formed a doji candle, and we have witnessed a sharp reversal from the lower levels. So looking at this kind of a formation, what we are getting indication is that tomorrow maybe for a day or two we might see a follow-up move to continue. And since it has gone into extremely oversold territory, so this kind of a pullback or rebound is very much likely. Overall, the major structure is more sort of a consolidation. We don't see any major crack from here, but at the same time, we are not expecting any V-shaped kind of recovery in the PSU banking space. But rather, if you compare to the private sector bank, so we are, yes, as I mentioned, we are very much comfortable taking long bets in the counters like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, or for the namesake, we can go ahead taking longs in Axis Bank as well. So yes, comparatively, private sector banks looks more comfortable, but in PSU banking space, if somebody want to play long bets from a short to medium term point of view, I think yes, it can be added in a staggered manner.
Okay, that's about the PSU banking lot. Of course, preference would be towards, or tilt will be towards the private sector names. But what's happening with other PSU names like Coal India? This stock has extended losses for a 7th straight day. And if PSU basket, of course, is a very wide basket. You have sectors like defense, shipbuilders also coming in, and most of these railway and defense stocks have also come off quite a bit from their peaks, right? Anywhere between 20 to 40%. Ex PSU banks, what would you really do with PSU stocks now, including the likes of Coal India and some of these defense names?
So Nanta, earlier we saw a sort of a momentum in the defense space, railway space, or I would say overall PSU basket as a whole. In last 8 to 10 consecutive session, we have witnessed some amount of supply coming in at the high levels, and these space have gone into extremely over territory. So this kind of correction, or I would say retracement, is very much likely. Now, after such kind of a correction that we have already witnessed, so it's a good time to accumulate these stocks. I don't see any further major correction from here, but yes, some amount of time-wise correction, time-wise consolidation that may possible. But yes, good time to accumulate quality stocks and a couple of names that we are, we are recommending. So Oil India is one of them where we have already witnessed a correction of last 3-4 consecutive sessions. Now, since it has a major support at 600, it's a good time to add this particular stock in the portfolio. We expect a pullback to continue towards 700 to 750. Similarly, if you look at ONGC as well, here as well, we have seen a good amount of correction. I think it's a good time to add this particular stock as well. It has a good support at 280 and currently it is at 300. So we expect a pullback towards 320 to 325. So purely, if somebody wants to play this particular pullback, then yes, it's a good time to add a PSU stock. But from position point of view, I think we need a further trigger of a confirmation of a bottom formation. But purely from a trading point of view, yes, one can go long and take a counter at current level.
Okay, in fact, ONGC was one of the stocks on my list because the stock has been downgraded by a Citi with the target price of 330. But of course, you already mentioned that buy on dips would be a good strategy for the likes of ONGC from the PSU basket. But we can't not talk about the FMCG pack because that was among the main drivers for the kind of rebound that we saw on the Nifty, right? Talk about consumption names like HUL, that of course hit a fresh high, 52-week high, in fact lifetime high, and even ITC perched near its 52-week highs. Britannia, these are some of the stocks that saw a fair bit of buying interest today. So at these levels, how would you approach stocks from the FMCG basket? Would you prefer an ITC right now, or would you say HUL is a good bet chartically?
So Nanta, the FMCG basket as a whole, we are still very much bullish on this particular sector. And as far as Nifty FMCG sector is concerned, we expect this up move to continue towards 68,000 to 70,000 kind of levels on the upside. So these are the position target, but yes, on immediate basis, 65,500 is something that we are expecting Nifty FMCG index to move towards. And given the kind of volatility that we are witnessing in the market, the focus is once again shifted towards defensive. And we have already seen a lot of kind of consolidation in the Nifty FMCG basket, specifically counters like HUL, Dabur. So now the momentum has started. So HUL is giving more comfort, and we expect further up to continue towards 3,000 to 3,050. The immediate support somewhere placed around 2,850. So that should be the stop loss for the long position. And yes, we are also bullish on ITC as well, since the stock has a very strong support somewhere around 496. So ideally, that should be the stop loss, and it is on the verge of a breakout from a consolidation of previous 2.5, 3 months now, and a breakout of 513 will give a kind of a confirmation, and post then we can expect a further up towards 530 to 535 for September series itself. Apart from that, Britannia, Dabur, these are the other stocks where we are also eyeing on, and we are very much bullish on Nifty FMCG sector as a whole.
Okay, bullish view coming in on the Nifty FMCG space, but I want to talk about some of the movers and shakers in the broader end of the markets now. One stock that caught my attention is Jupiter Wagons. This stock has fallen the most in 14 weeks. Although on a 6-month basis, the stock has given good returns, but over the last 3 months, the momentum seems to have fizzled out, and the stock has really been chugging along. 508 is where it's at. 748 is the 52-week high. So it's cooled off quite a bit from highs. Any strategy here on Jupiter Wagons?
See, Neta, we have already witnessed a good momentum a couple of months back in overall railway space. And now, if you look at overall all the railway stocks in last couple of weeks now, we have started witnessing some amount of correction and a formation of a low top and low bottom. And similar pattern can be seen in JWL as well, where the stock has started witnessing correction from the levels of 740, and currently it is at 508 with a breakdown. So yes, we expect a further downtick to continue towards 480, 470 on the lower side. So it's not advisable to take any contravention at current level. Better to avoid for the time being. Avoid the railway space as a whole. Any reversal now, so looks like a time-wise correction as well.
Okay. The other stock that I want to speak about is Suven Pharma. That stock hit a fresh 52-week high today. It's news-based. The move was news-based, given the fact that its arms, one of its arms, Hyderabad-based manufacturing facility has got the EIR establishment report by US FDA, and the US FDA has classified the inspection as voluntary action indicated and deemed it as closed. So that's a good booster coming in for Suven Pharma. The stock, of course, reacted to that as well. Any particular strategy that you would be looking at when it comes to this particular stock over the next 2 sessions?
So pharma, specifically mid cap and small cap pharma stocks are looking very much positive on the chart, and given this kind of, as I mentioned, the kind of volatile market, the focus is certainly towards the defensive. So Suven Pharma specifically, this counter has been in a very strong uptrend, and it is already trading in the over territory. So ideally, the risk and reward is not favorable at current level. Hence, I would advise to wait for some meaningful dip towards 1150 to 1100. That could be a good entry range in this particular stock. Although the upside is still very much open towards 1350 to 1400. These are the immediate target that we can expect in the September series itself. And the support is somewhere placed around 1080. So ideally, that should be the stop loss for the long position. So if somebody is already holding the long position, I would advise to stay put, keep a trail stop loss, and ride this rally and momentum towards 1300 to 1350.
And what about Jubilant Pharmova? This stock as well, it zoomed to its record high backed by heavy volumes. The stock has been doing fairly well. Should one chase momentum here as well?
Absolutely, Nanta. So this particular stock, if you just pull up the monthly chart, the stock is on the verge of a breakout. I would say a multi-year breakout candidate. 2018, the stock made a high somewhere around 1020, and once again in the year 2021 as well, it has made a similar high. Now it has already given a good breakout today, and tomorrow we get a confirmation of this particular breakout sustainability. So if it sustains above 1020, then I see this momentum to continue towards 1150 to 1200 on immediate basis, and a position target comes somewhere around 1400 plus. So yes, very strong chart structure here out as well. And today volume participation, if you look at more than 65 lakh volume can be seen, which is higher than average volume with a good breakout. So yes, looks very strong and can be bought at current level and on declines as well.
Okay, can be bought at current levels. Jubilant Pharmova. A couple of more stocks on my list before we come to your recommendations. Deep Industries. This stock, of course, soared to an all-time high on the back of an order win worth 1400 crore rupees. Now, this order, it has won this order from ONGC. This is not only the largest ever order because it's half of its entire market cap, which stands at 2800 crore rupees. It's actually more than its overall current order book as well. So the stock has, of course, snapped out of a 2-day losing streak. But has there been a significant breakout on charts? Should one ride the momentum here, chase the momentum?
So today it opened with a gap up note, and it looks like a kind of a runaway gap in this particular stock. And I think it has hit a 20% circuit as well. So there could be possibility of a continuation of this particular circuit. We might see a positive starting tomorrow session as well. But logically, the support is coming way lower at somewhere around 420. So at current level, it's not advisable to chase since the risk and reward is not favorable. But if somebody is already holding the long position, I would advise to stay put, keep a trailing stop loss somewhere around 440. The stock still has a potential to surpass 500 levels on the upside. The structure looks very strong. More than 73 lakh volume can be seen in today's session, which is very much higher in quantum. That is what we have seen in last many weeks now. So yes, the structure looks strong, but not advisable to buy. Better avoid and wait for some meaningful correction towards 440 to 430.
Okay, now the last stock, really on my list is VST Industries. The stock was locked in upper circuit on Friday. It's a ace investor Radhakishan Damani has this stock in his portfolio. Today, of course, it tagged on profit booking. SBI mutual fund has also offloaded somewhere around 3% stake to take some money off the table. Here, after the good run-up, do you think this is just a blip, or do you think there could be a reversal or signs of any kind of reversal on charts?
This particular stock has a tendency where we see one day of uptick and followed by another day of downtick, and that has been the kind of a pattern this particular stock has. And looking at the yesterday's gap up opening that we saw on Friday, it looks like it may make an attempt to fill that particular gap, which is placed somewhere around 410. So from current level, there could be possibility of some more correction in the range of 6 to 8%. So better wait for that particular gap to get filled. Keep a stop loss somewhere around 400 for the long position. The major undertone, no doubt, is on a positive side, but the volume participation, if you look at recently, which is quite dry. So I'm not very much comfortable taking any long position at current level.
Okay, that's about VST Industries, and that, of course, we're just about coming to the end of this show. But before I let you go, Nilesh, what would you really be recommending for our viewers, or what would you be trading into over the next couple of days?
So a couple of ideas I have on the long side. First of all, one cash idea, that is JSW Energy. This particular stock is on the verge of a breakout. Today, we have witnessed a good volume participation of more than 64 lakh volume can be seen today. And it is on the verge of a breakout. Breakout will come above 750. So we are just preempting that the stock is likely to break that level on the upside and move towards 770 to 800 kind of levels. So 700 should be the stop loss for this particular stock. JSW Energy for after target of 770 and 800. Apart from that, within FMCG space, as we discussed about the consumption space, that is looking strong on the chart. Dabur is particular one stock where we are expecting a good. We have already witnessed a good breakout, But interesting part is that the derivative data are looking very strong, more than 11% OI addition can be seen. So good long buildup is happening in this particular stock, that too at all-time high. So we expect a follow-up move towards 680 to 700, and 645 should be the stop loss for the long position. Lastly, Voltas is another stock where we are witnessing a plug and pull kind of a pattern breakout. So 1840, 1860 are the target on the upside. Voltas looks positive at current level. Keep a stop loss below 1790, and yes, Voltas can also be added.
All right, JSW Energy, Dabur and Voltas, three ideas coming in from Nilesh. Nilesh, with that, I would like to thank you for taking out time and joining in this afternoon. Look forward to interacting with you sometime again. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Well, with that, of course, no complaints. Monday started on a good note. We did start on a wobbly note, but made a very solid comeback from the day's low. And we need to watch out for whether or not we manage to carry on with this momentum tomorrow as well or not. Of course, it's the Nifty Financial Services weekly expiry tomorrow. So, financial pack will once again be in focus. But today, Nifty Bank and Nifty FMCG, these were the two indices that or two pockets that managed to lead to a recovery on the benchmark indices, although broader end of the markets didn't have such a great day today. But with that, completely timed out on this edition of Closing Bell from me, Nandita, and the entire team. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates, and have a great evening.